Hi guys, so today we're gonna talk about my most expensive foundations. We have seven of them in hand, and I think the best part is I haven't bought any of those. And yeah, but I thought that we spoke about blushes, तो हम अगला क्या बात कर सकते हैं? And I thought that foundations could be a nice thing to speak about. A, because I have so many of them, and B, because आप कोई भी foundation में invest करने से पहले you'd like to know that what works, what doesn't work, why you should buy a certain foundation. And because foundations are the base product, like they're the foundation of your makeup, so it's always nice to sort of invest in them, but you don't want to like buy any Tom, Dick, and Harry product just because it's like expensive or just because it's a good brand. So we're gonna swatch all of the ones that I own and let's see how it goes. We're gonna talk about them in detail, but not too much in detail. So let's get started. Let's do a quick rundown of the foundations that I'm gonna talk about because it's probably gonna help you all to sort of get a hang of what we are gonna do. But I'm just gonna name all the foundations and then we can see. So the first one that I have in my hand is the YSL Ola's foundation, and it's a dream. We'll talk more. Let's see whether YSL is worth it. Then we have the Lancome foundation. I don't know how rest of it pronounced, but it has Ultra Wear in the name, so there is that. Next, we just did a review for this. So this one's the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. Then we have probably what is one of my favorites, the Bobbi Brown Weightless Skin Foundation with SPF 15. Then we have one of my most used foundation, which is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Then we have one of the most viral products, which is the Fenty Beauty foundation. And last but not the least, yes, I saved the best for the last. It's the ABH foundation. It's a new launch. This one's the Impeccable Blurring Second Skin Matte Foundation. As you all can see, I'm on the fairer side, so that's what my foundations are also gonna look like. So you might know if you're my foundation twin, if any of these foundations match and you've been wanting to try something else. So this is the cue. Of course, some of them are not exact shade matches, but they're pretty much close to my shade range, so they work because not every one of them I have like shade swatched and tried before actually getting them. But most of them work for me as far as I've been using them because this is what I keep alternating between. So without any further ado, let's get started. So we have seen the swatches. I thought that swatches would be better because they're like sort of more clear and I put on some light so they're more clearer for you all. But we're gonna try a few foundations on my face and I'm gonna swatch it for you all and just blend it in this area because I have my makeup done already. But for reference, we are gonna start with a Bobbi Brown Weightless Foundation because that's what I'm wearing. As you all can see, this is very my skin but better. It is not drying at all. It has SPF 15, so that's a plus. Every time I wear it, honestly, I think that I feel that I don't have too much product on my skin because it just works like that and that's what it's supposed to do. So I'm just gonna show you all a swatch and I'm just taking a pea-sized amount because I already have some, so we'd rather not waste it. But there is my mirror, so I'm just gonna give you all a shot like this since it's gonna help. My makeup has actually also, for context, this is very long lasting because I have this makeup for a couple of hours, like till I first got it and now. तो अगर आपको long hours के लिए चाहिए तो this is like a really good product. But I'm gonna show you all थोड़ा सा और. This is how it looks. This is a warm beige. As I've noticed, for me, beige foundations in any brands always gently work. Like I have a natural beige in some brand, I have like a neutral beige in some brand if they have it, of course. But I'm just gonna quickly blend it for y'all. And yes, I did forget it. I'm just gonna blend it from my fingers because y'all can like sort of see what it looks like. And yeah, see, it's like a perfect match to my neck and my face. It doesn't like stand out or make my face look ekdam alag se in comparison to my neck. This was the closest shade. I was skeptical ki I wanted something more neutral, but I think that for neutral skin tones, this is the color that generally works. Like something beigey is what generally works for someone who looks like me and is fair and has a neutral undertone for that matter. So yeah, so something that I have noticed is कि ये थोड़ा सा drying हो जाता है कभी कभी for me at least because my skin here is a little dry. All I do is I spray a little bit of my setting spray once I'm done applying or when I've just put on the dots and I'm about to blend it. So it blends very seamlessly and then it looks very like dewy and very skin like for that matter. So if that's the kind of finish you like, you can do it. Or if you're not someone who likes very dry, like if you don't like very dewy or something, or if you have like a little bit of oily skin, not very oily, but if you have a little bit of oily skin, this one's going to do very well for you. It's not drying per se, but just your skin needs to be hydrated and your skincare needs to be in place. Because अगर skin prep नहीं किया होगा तो obviously any or best of the foundations are not going to work for you. So yeah, that's my expert tip for y'all. This ABS foundation is what we're gonna swatch next. This is the latest launch. I have actually not used a full face. I just got it shade matched and I got it done. I'm the shade 2N. So generally mera like 1 2 is where my shades generally range because I am relatively fair. Now this is one of my most perfect match. Even when I was like getting the shade match done and the guy who was doing it, he picked two shades ki ye ya ye ho sakta hai, but then he tried this and he was like, this is definitely going to be it, because I thought that this is a little pink for me, but it wasn't because he knows better, at least in person. Now look at that. This is again because in person करवाया था तो it is my exact shade match, but otherwise थोड़ा इधर उधर हो जाता है, but there is nothing that never works for me like that, what I get or whatever, because people generally share stuff that is for fair skin. Now this is the blurring foundation, right? Now this is supposed to have that blurring effect as far as I know, right? So I'm gonna use it on my pimples and then we're gonna see what it, oh my god, okay, I'm not reacting like influencers, but I didn't apply it on my pimples and all that and see. So if I'm gonna just show this to y'all a little closely, y'all can see कि यहाँ पर जो pimples, it's not pimple actually, it's more like acne scars, but the difference is pretty visible as far as I think, and I am loving it because once I do my skincare and then do this, I think it's gonna look fab, and I might just turn to this for almost all the big occasions and the events and everything that I have to go to. So far it's been between Too Faced and Bobbi Brown, and now NARS has been an addition. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna now rank the 7 foundations that we've tried. These are all in a particular order, but of course a product being on the 7th doesn't mean that I hate it, and a product being on the 1st does mean that I love it. It's my absolute favorite. But it's just that between ये 7 अगर मेरे को choose करना होगा, so this is where they stand, and of course I'm gonna tell you in quick reasonings of why and what's and whatnots. We're gonna start from 7 up. At the 7th spot we have this Fenty Beauty foundation. I love it, but the only problem is that it can be really tasky to deal with it on dry skin days. So that's the only reason why it's on the 7th spot. At the 6th spot we have the Lancome foundation. It's very lightweight, it's very good, but it just is not my go-to for some reason. So that's why it's on the 6th spot. On the 5th spot is this NARS foundation. Honestly, it is lovely. I really like how it looks on my skin, but it doesn't have that kind of coverage that I want on most days because of the texture of my skin. Lekin the way that it looks very dewy and radiant, I love that, which is why it's on the 5th spot. The 4th spot is the YSL All Hours foundation. Honestly, I love it and it does work for me on most days, but it's not just something that I keep going to for some reason. On the 3rd spot is this ABS foundation. I know it's a new product, but just because of the way that it blurs my texture and the way that it looks overall is why it's on the 3rd spot. It's on the 3rd spot because also it's relatively very new, so I haven't worn it enough to sort of take it upward a notch. Maybe it might become my most favorite. We're gonna see that. Now the top 2 spots were very difficult for me to figure out, but At the second spot is this Too Faced Born This Way foundation, only because it missed the first spot by like this much, but this one works really well for me. So if you are planning to buy this, buy it undoubtedly. No prizes for guessing which one's on the top spot. It's the Bobbi Brown Weightless Foundation. Honestly, this might not be a lot of people's top pick because it is not like ekdam full coverage, and it's supposed to be weightless, which means it's medium to a little bit buildable coverage, but someone with texture might not love it a lot. But I love it because I have told you all that I'm wearing this right now and it looks really pretty to me. I don't want very gaudy makeup because it looks like, you know, you have a whole layer of products on your skin, and that's not something that's my jam. So Bobbi Brown is currently my number one. So yeah, this was all about my top 7 foundations. Drop in a comment if you'd like me to do this with a lipstick or with concealers. I don't have too many, but I can do it with whatever I have. And I'm gonna do that for y'all. And you can also tell me if you like me to do something else, and I'm definitely gonna try to do that. But until next time, toodaloo.